years. Okay, time to get serious when that recording button goes. So I'm going to ask everybody else to mute themselves. And yes, here, look at this little frou-frou thing. I'm actually in Hawaii. This was the beach the other night. And we've often said, we come here, it's family property, so it's not an arm and a leg to come here. And when we come here, we always jokingly say that between 7 days and 1 week, there is such an exquisite state of relaxation that is successive over the week, that at about a week you're just like a puddle. And not only do you walk on the lawn out here, and it's kind of squishy and it just supports you, but the wind kind of comes and caresses you, and the water rocks you, and the smells are intoxicating. But you start saying, what was that was bothering me? Things lose their intensity and their relevance. And then you think, what was bothering me here? I couldn't get, I swear, there was one day where we fell in love with these dark chocolate and rolled macadamia nuts. This still tells you how crazy humans are. Just the right amount of chocolate, the right everything. It just popped in my mouth. Divine. I mean, there was alignment with macadamia nut to chocolate and robe. And then a few days later, he went to another store and he brought some, and they were just like real thick chocolate, the little nut inside. And I didn't want to touch them. And I said, how interesting. When we raise our bar and we are held in the lap, and I'm not going to say luxury, this is, even though it's comfortable, I am not talking materialism. I am talking divine alignment. I'm talking nature, walking barefoot across the grass. That doesn't cost a lot of money. I'm talking about a little treat, that one of them just sends me into that zone of the world is perfect. And the other one, I felt like I'm eating all this sugar. So I'm saying this because we all have our sweet spot, and we're so quick to criticize someone else for what they're worrying about or what's important to them. And we must learn at a certain point what resonates for us and lines up for our sweet spot. And often, believe me, again, it has nothing to do with materialism. It's arranging your life and your particles of reality so that the thing that for you is cherishable, the experience with people that you adore, that you love talking to and being with, the foods, the smells that you love, that is unique. So don't beat yourself up with what makes you happy is your divine key. I guess that's what I'm saying. And we're raised to think we are undeserving to be happy. We're undeserving to have what we want. We're undeserving, some of us, to even have what we need. How dare you, blah, 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 blah. The earth story has gone so far off base that most of us feel guilty for supplying ourselves with our own needs and asking to be around kind, wonderful people and live a peaceful life, because everybody else is living such tough lives and this and that, and we all have to. That is the old dogma, and it is the old story for Earth that, frankly, the Earth is regurgitating herself. The timeline for the Earth, the trajectory of how the earth is a conscious being of how she wants to host her guests. She's had guests coming in and drinking all the water and ruining it. She's had guests coming in and ruining the air that her plants need to breathe. And she's finally saying, I want my macadamia nuts like this. And I want this feeling of flow. And I actually have a right to rewrite my story. So that while we say the divine plan is about humans, it's really about the earth's restoration to her divine profile and existence in complete balance as part of a cohesive, harmonic galactic system, all the other planets, all the other galaxies, and the universe. It's been the monkey mind nonsense, the mutant behaviors and thoughts, fear-based of humans that have come in and abused and used Mother Earth. And that mentality has crept into people's brainwaves that they can use and abuse other people for their own benefit. To get their chocolate macadamia nuts, they're going to have children working on those cacao things till their fingers bleed. There is no humanity in this particular story of Earth. So it's a story. Last night we watched a movie and partner's laughing because I'm like, oh no, everything's going to fall apart. I could just see it's coming. I see it. Just like the Earth is having the geophysical changes right now, where Earth is saying, this ain't right. We're going to get to the bottom of the mass consciousness that created such unconscious, undivine, unsustainable behaviors. And I'm going to wash those people right out of my hair. I'm going to shake those people right out of my, and I'm not saying that these people caused it. I'm saying that we all volunteered for part of this cleansing, this composting, as part of Earth's restoration, resetting process. So those that haven't been mindful of other people's rights and sovereignty for joy and beauty and meeting their needs, which is a creator-given right. The initial worlds, the initial inhabitants and consciousness in Lemuria, some of you I know were here, beauty, love, goodness, joy, omniscience. It's exactly what every week on the Be the Light meditation process, we attempt to embody the vibration of and live it and be it once again. But of course, how confusing, because we're feeling, oh my God, look, we need to live at a low level, an unhappy level, because look at all these people's lives being discreated. And after a while, I had to start thinking like a public health nurse. I am a public health nurse, that this is a virus, this fear-based activity and mutant anti-human behavior that has infected so many levels of our social systems, where even good people are put into a prison. Interesting, I said prism. In other words, their fractalization, their light was severely limited when they went into systems that don't reward goodness or creative solution-based answers to help all humans in a humane way. So this is what Hawaii has brought up for me. This softness, this presence where I'm looking back at my Pacific Northwest life, which is rich and interesting, but quite a long to-do list. And I'm comparing. If I put that list in front of me now, I would laugh at it, because I am in an environment that isn't requiring me to strive towards peace and happiness. I'm in that environment here in Hawaii. So environment is very, very, very important. The place, the weather, and that's different for everybody. So we did a webinar this last week, Connecting in Community. And the central question was, what do you want to experience? And that's what I ask all of us on these calls when I talk to people. What do you want to experience? Because you can keep working your vibrational facetry. Truth, am I saying the truth all the time? Am I focusing on beauty? Until you actually have gone up the stair steps, and there's a reason it's called ascension. You're going beyond the mass consciousness. You get to a place where pretty good mastery, and you are holding the field where you can create beauty and order in heaven right where you're at, no matter what's happening around you. So it's interesting. Here I am, I almost said in heaven in Hawaii, where I'm given the feeling of heaven. Release attention, release the to-do list, come back to my physical body of peace and self. So the thing is to take this feeling back to the cold, rainy, gray, but very interesting, smart people there, always doing interesting things. And how do I bring back what I like and what I need to thrive, the perfect macadamia nut, in that environment? So why am I saying this? Because you are here and you're listening to this and you're thinking, what's the flow like for me right now where I'm living? My home where I am choosing, am I choosing that built on a survival mentality? It's the cheapest, it's the easiest, it's available. Are you doing it based on, well, somebody else created it and then I didn't have to create it myself? Or this is all I can afford, or it's all I deserve? At some level, you are living out your own personal story and movie. And so I'm asking you to stop and reflect, just like I'm here in Hawaii. It stops my usual thinking, my usual consciousness, my usual trampoline I bounce off, my thoughts. This is what I do. This is who Jan is. This is what she's about. And here, it's easy to go into that 0 point. So think about your home, apartment, cottage, estate, whatever, and breathe into it and realize there's no beating yourself up. It's perfect for right now, because it is right now. And it's the place in the story where, as I said to my partner last night, oh my God, I know big change is coming. A big change is coming. And he laughs and says, yes, of course. The guy gets what he wants. Then he loses what he wants. And then he gets the bigger, better it. He's circling around until he finally finds what? Love. Love of himself. And loving ourselves so thoroughly and so deeply guarantees that we will attract and hold an illuminated space of flow, of beauty. It doesn't have to be Hawaii. That's what our webinar was about. The webinar was, where do you feel good? Well, maybe you need to start traveling. I feel amazingly good in Montana. It's crazy. The minute I go there, it's like that a song. There's a bright golden haze. I know it's about Oklahoma, but there is a harmonic in my body. And I think it's because of genetic lineage that my family homesteaded there. And my blood family is still in Bozeman, Montana. I'm drawn there like a tuning fork, okay? Except for I don't like the snow. Well, maybe I should live in Montana for 6 months of the year and then live somewhere else when it gets to be the coldest place in the entire earth. I text my cousin, I said, I think you hit the lowest today. She laughs. because she can go skiing. She loves it. That's her macadamia nut. That's her sweet spot. So why am I saying all this? Again, because you're all living in different places, and some of you might think, well, this is very comfortable, but we're talking about major story Earth changes, geophysical changes for Mother Earth herself, as she washes away and reconfigures of how she wants to live in flow without predatory humans sucking her oil out and spewing the air. Can you imagine how much junk we put in the air? So Mother Earth is taking charge, and she's going to invite in and allow for humans to live in a specific band of reality, creating heaven on earth. So that's my focus. And that's why I do all of these Be the Light meditations, because if you're tuning in by resonance, on some level, you chose to hold a vibration so that we can meet and talk and mix it up and allows it to happen, or you are actively holding a part in planning and creating and moving towards like-minded people finding and creating places of flow by choice. And in the webinar, I said, can't you imagine that you decide, oh, here's where I want to live. Here's the weather, has water, has this. Small community, okay, I can bring in this person. Oh, this person knows how to plant the gardens that it doesn't have yet. Oh, we could have this many little units, and oh, look, there's a gathering place. Education. Now we have a force of nature here for teaching and learning and living and visiting for the new ways. We all have a different part. And as I said, no, I'm a cheerleader. I'm a projector cheerleader. It doesn't mean I do it. It means I facilitate it with joy. So find your place, joyfully creating this potential new world, because guess what? It won't happen unless we do it. So that's why we do these meditations. I get up at 6 in the morning, and all these years, Be the Light. So let's drop in and ask, what is my role in being this bridge from this reality to the next reality? And what this gives us great hope, gives you inspiration. I have something I was born to do. I get to do what gives me joy and what I'm good at. And that in itself is living the vibration of heaven on earth, even if you're still in the third dimension. We signed up for this. We didn't sign up to come and lay on a hammock for yet one more incarnation. If you're here, you're what I call a buckaroo. You're someone who likes a little, maybe a lot of just being confused. Well, coming into earth itself, you didn't remember what you promised to do. To come to earth, you have to take this pill of forgetting. So we had to come as a group and remind each other of what we promised to do. But it's an inside job to remember who you are out there, what the communication system is, so that you can commune with that higher being self and planetary system, wherever you're from, and get clarity that I'm a visitor here. I'm on an amazing team that is waking up, still doesn't know who the hell they are or what we're doing. But piece by piece, we are putting this together. And guess what? What we decide is real anyway. So if we decide we're making a divine reality and we are working with our higher forces, ta-da! Who cares if Caroline Corey wrote the book or not? Let's believe it for ourselves. Let's do it. Let's do it for the team. Let's do it for us. And those with eyes to see and ears to hear will get the memo and say, I want what they're drinking. I want to be like these joyous, buoyant, vibrating people. And that's how evolutionary change happens in every epoch. But this is substantially different and unprecedented on Earth, because this just isn't Earth people fulminating into a new Bronze Age Renaissance. This is a galactic, universally blueprint plan, almost like you would plan a staging for an intervention. That is the word. Man's behavior has gotten to a crisis point, and an intervention of divine beings has been dispensated onto earth to sit together and wake up in meditation and be the light YouTubes to say, whoa, let the fun begin. This is amazing. You have the chops to do it. If you're here, you have the consciousness to do it. You have the gifts to deliver it. So what is it? Okay, here we go. Take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. Notice how your body is already settling into the non-thinking state, the being state that's so easy in Hawaii. Imagine in your heart is a cross, and the vertical line represents time, which is a construct, and the horizontal line is space. And right in the middle is the infinity point. So make it so that the vertical line has where it stops before the middle, and the horizontal line stops. So the middle is empty, and the middle is technically the 0 point, where nothing has manifested. It is the point of potential, the in-between space, the imaginal cell space, and focus and reside in this space now. And in this space, notice if you are having any resistance to bringing heaven on earth or experiencing heaven on earth. And if there's a resistance to authority figures, a resistance to this book, pretending or imagining that this is the new law, okay? Just allow yourself to imagine that other divine beings, spiritual beings have written down what they could to show the way and to help see the divine plan that is not written in stone. It is, the potentiality is residing within the 0 point of every team member who was born here and contracted and was committed to showing up to being the bridge. So it comes down to us ourselves, what we're allowing ourselves to imagine that we are capable of, to imagine what can be co-created in this realm beyond Earth story and limitations. To imagine, like the Imagineers at Findhorn, who grew things in the ground the world had never seen before. To imagine that the monks, historical monks, who built heavy stone monasteries and structures on the sides of cliffs by meditating and by humming sounds that allowed levitation. All of these skills and gifts are available to us now. We are the Imagineers of the future. There are some who have been a little bit ahead of us on the ladder, who have been brave enough, I mean, don't kill the messenger, to imagine creating heaven on earth in some forms and wording and ways to convey it. But now I'm going to take that responsibility back to each of us. What do we want to see? What do we want to create? Because truly, as facets of the Creator, this is within our skill set and our realm. You can write your own book. Learn from all the other struggling spiritualists and leaders and gurus, and take it all and put it within yourself and create. What do you want to experience? So within this 0 point, within your heart, we lay the groundwork. We ask and intend to set a sacred space. We remove everyone else's thoughts about ourselves, and we come to an absolute void, a still point. It is within our heart. We ask that our consciousness be guided by our higher forces and self now. We put forth the question. Number 1, what do I want to experience? And number 2, what is my role in this co-creation? Not one of us will be in charge moving forward. It is collaboration. So let your heart expand, almost like you're opening the 0 point in the middle of that cross in your heart, like a camera aperture. And here in living color within your heart, not outside of yourself, you are the microcosm. Open that aperture within your heart, almost as if it is a camera allowing you to move into and see and be with a 5th dimensional world of color, of peace, of flow, of joy. Your consciousness has held this space, this form for you to access now. It is the way you felt in your heavenly essence, in your heavenly environment. Or if you incarnated into some of the earlier living civilizations and forms on Earth, this feeling of well-being, cohesiveness, wholeness, being held, being safe, let this feeling begin to permeate from this little opening within your heart, and let this glow and warmth of remembrance begin to move out from your heart into your lungs. And as your lungs breathe, it's almost like they've had the first pure breath in quite some time, which allows the grains and the sands, the irritants of grief, earth resistance, and pain begin to dislodge from your lungs now. You are dropping the heaviness, the dross of so many lifetimes from your lungs now. The blood vessels entering and exiting your heart are being reconfigured, recircuited to be clear and clean and to hold this pure, oxygenated, inspiring sparkles of life and hope as never before, now pulsing through your entire body. Sheets of light are moving through and enlightening, essentially clearing, purifying, making new pathways through all the landscape of your body, similarly to how Earth has cleansed herself of toxins, of the dirge, dross, density, layered on for many epochs. So this refurbishing that is occurring cellularly within the organs is now innervating your spine and your nervous system to peaceful, calm, integrated systematic stabilization. Take a breath and allow yourself to feel this new rhythm, this new flow. You are bringing heaven into your biophysical field so that you are vibrating heaven within this realm. Your vibrational field is significantly over 1,000 hertz now. You're feeling such an expansion in your chest. We're allowing for all rubber tension veils that have held things and contained to simply be pulled off, simply unpeeled as if you would peel a cellophane film off of something. So there are no separating layers. Your entire system now is homogeneously, I'm not even sure if that's a word. There is a oneness, homogenesis. You're regenerating a oneness, a wholeness. The flow in your body is magnificent. And now simply because you are, through your own volition, your own choice, experiencing the vibration on heaven on earth, let's connect with heaven now. Open your crown chakra and we ask and intend that we merge with the field, the beam of our higher self. And let this come right down into your crown chakra. And as you are residing in this heaven on earth, look around in your inner vision and say, who's with me? Who else is chosen to vibrate heaven on earth? Because those are my people. See and feel their presence now. And see, what does the environment look like? Because it has flow. What do the trees look like? Is it giving you hints? Is it the beautiful, dry, sunshiny fields of Italy with trees? Looks a bit like Sonoma County. Or is it the tree-lined long paths of southern France? little streams, old churches? Is it Hawaii, swaying palm trees? What would nourish and hold your heaven on earth in a way that is your perfect macadamia nut, enrobed with the perfect millimeter of the right chocolate? Picture it and feel it as if it's real, because it is out there waiting for you to resonate these blinking lights so it can meet you and give it to you. So take a deep breath. What is my role in creating this? You don't have to change the old world. You change yourself. You create heaven on earth in your eyes, your vision, from this higher self story that has no issues, no abuse agenda, all for one and one for all. The beauty principles flourish through you. What is your role? And I'm going to be quiet for a moment so you can hear that articulated to you directly. And lastly, a heavenly prayer for you as you make this deep connection and commitment to be heaven on earth and created. Buranavi inkyo koreaniatare, jevitiurumake, hayengangu, ushariamakariate, yate yayo, ram. God. Take a deep breath, and essentially that translates to you had the power all along. And namaste. And hold this in. And you are illuminating and holding this home, this heavenly home, in your countenance now, in your bearing, in your words, in your eyes, and you will meet your true earth family to create this heaven on earth, holding this vibration. So we put a beautiful golden egg around our bodies to hold this in so that it integrates and stabilizes. Beautiful. Take a nice deep breath. Mahalo in appreciation for this meditation today, this beautiful new day. Go out and begin the process of identifying, coalescing the particles of reality for us to create heaven on earth even more powerfully today. And so it is. So I'll stop the recording and we'll come back and do a check-in